गुड इवनिंग दोस्तों, मेरा नाम ब्रिजेश डालमिया है और मैं मास्टर स्ट्रोक से हूं। थैंक यू सो मच फॉर ज्वाइनिंग एंड हैप्पी पूजा टू ऑल ऑफ यू। आई एम फ्रॉम बंगाल। बंगाल की पूजा बहुत जबरदस्त होती है। इफ यू हैव नेवर बीन टू कैलकाटा ड्यूरिंग द फेस्टिव सीजन ऑफ दुर्गा पूजा, प्लीज मेक अ प्रोग्राम। खचाखच भरी होती हैं सड़कें यहाँ, और बड़ी पूजा देखने के लिए आपको 2-2 घंटे की लाइन लगानी पड़ती है और जबरदस्त माहौल रहता है। लोग रात में 4-4 बजे तक पैदल चल करके पूजा देखते हैं। प्लीज वेलकम to the city of Calcutta if you ever want to be, and do see puja in Calcutta. Happy Navratri. So, friends, today's talk is about 5 dangerous bias you should remove, MFDs should remove. And I will share a presentation with you what these 5 biases are. And if you agree, please write in the chat box that I agree with this bias, whatever you want to, and then we will. Okay. तो 5 dangerous bias MFD should remove. और हो सकता है कि आपके बायस ना हो। जितने भी लोगों ने ज्वाइन किया है उसमें कुछ लोग एग्री करेंगे, कुछ लोग डिसएग्री करेंगे, बट मैं अपना एक ओपिनियन आपको देना चाहता हूं कि 5 बायस जो आपको रिमूव करना चाहिए। लेट्स स्टार्ट। व्हाट इज द बायस नंबर 1? एंड दिस इज अ लिटिल controversial, but I will give you my opinion. PPF versus ELSS. The first bias mutual fund distributors have is that ELSS is better than PPF. I will not go into right and wrong. What I will tell you is that this is a bias. हम ऐसा सोचते हैं कि पीपीएफ से बढ़िया होता है ईएलएसएस, रिटर्न्स ज्यादा अच्छे आते हैं। और काफी म्यूचुअल फंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर काफी प्रेजेंटेशंस क्लाइंट्स को दिखाते हैं, यू शुड नॉट डू पीपीएफ, यू शुड डू ईएलएसएस। क्योंकि 20 साल के लिए आप पीपीएफ में इन्वेस्ट करेंगे तो आपको 8% आएगा, एंड इन ईएलएसएस यू विल गेट 15%, 12%. दैट इज द हिस्ट्री ऑफ म्यूचुअल फंड इन्वेस्टमेंट्स. I do not agree with this. I think you should know the difference between PPF and ELSS. You are free to sell ELSS. I am not saying it is bad. It is fantastic product. I myself invest in ELSS. But the bias, the blanket bias that ELSS is better than PPF is not right. And I will tell you why. You cannot compare debt with equity. PPF is debt and ELSS is equity. First of all, apples to apple comparison नहीं है ये. Secondly, एक simple argument आपको देना चाहता हूं मैं यहाँ पे. Let me show you this Excel chart. I will show you an Excel chart. Let me open that chart. I think it is in my presentation only. I will show you here. Okay. Yeah. Share screen. So let us say a client has a portfolio of 2 crores. He wants, or you suggest, a debt equity asset allocation of 30% to 70%. आप 100% पैसा तो इक्विटी में डालने बोलेंगे नहीं उसको, यानी कुछ पोर्शन आप बोलेंगे आपको डेट में डालना है क्योंकि वो एसेट एलोकेशन होता है। यानी आप खुद उसे सजेस्ट करेंगे कि 100% पैसा इक्विटी में मत डालो। प्लीज राइट यस इन द चैट बॉक्स इफ यू एग्री दैट वी शुड नॉट पुट 100% ऑफ मनी इन इक्विटी और इक्विटी ओरिएंटेड स्कीम। यू विल ऑल एग्री. My question is that if you decide or the client tells you that हमको 70% पैसा इक्विटी में डालना है लेकिन 30% पे हमको इक्विटी का रिस्क नहीं लेना है, मुझे डेट में डालना है, तो वो 30% 60 lakhs कहाँ डालेंगे आप? डेट फंड्स में, फिक्स डिपॉजिट में या पोस्ट ऑफिस में? और क्यों? डेट फंड में 6-7% रिटर्न बनेगा विद टैक्स, फिक्स डिपॉजिट में 7-7.5 बनेगा विद टैक्स, पोस्ट ऑफिस में 7-7.5% बनेगा विद टैक्स. माई पॉइंट इज फ्रेंड्स कि अगर आपको डेट फंड्स में डालना है, डेट पोर्शन में एलोकेट करना है पैसे को, पीपीएफ इज द बेस्ट प्रोडक्ट इन इंडिया बिकॉज इट इज ट्रिपल ई. इन्वेस्ट करते समय टैक्स बेनिफिट मिलता है, निकालते समय टैक्स बेनिफिट मिलता है, इंटरेस्ट टैक्स फ्री होता है, रिटर्न्स भी काफी जबरदस्त होते हैं और पैसा गारंटीड होता है. So this is one bias that I think mutual fund distributors should remove. I will not spend more time here, but you need to think about this. Yes, in 20 years time, mutual fund equity allocations will give you higher returns, ELSS than PPF. But अगर किसी की जरूरत है कि मुझे ब्याज में और अपनी सेफ्टी के लिए कुछ पैसे डालने हैं जो किसी भी हालत में गिरने नहीं चाहिए एसेट एलोकेशन से, तो पीपीएफ को कोई बीट नहीं करता है. दिस इज बायस नंबर 1 विच पीपल हैव. व्हाट इज द बायस नंबर 2? Another very strong bias of mutual fund distributor is that कि मुझे SWP बैलेंस फंड से करना है या इक्विटी से करना है क्योंकि रिटर्न्स ज्यादा आते हैं. ये बायस भी मेरे तरफ से. ऑफ कोर्स यू आर फ्री टू डू योर वे. आई थिंक दिस इज नॉट राइट. क्या इक्विटी में रिटर्न ज्यादा आता है डेट फंड से? यस. क्या बैलेंस फंड में रिटर्न ज्यादा आता है डेट फंड से? यस. बट क्या आपको SWP इक्विटी और बैलेंस फंड से करना चाहिए? माई आंसर इज नो. Because, and you will have historical data sheet and reports which suggest that even if you did SWP from equity or balance fund for 20 years, you are still positive. But मेरे दोस्तों, 20 साल ट्रैवल करने के लिए 20 साल उस फंड में रुकना भी पड़ता है, नुकसान भी बर्दाश्त करना पड़ता है, और उस नुकसान के समय पे कितने लोग होल्ड कर पाएंगे ये भी इंपॉर्टेंट होता है. सो नियम ये कहता है कि SWP हमेशा डेट फंड से होनी चाहिए. कुछ पोर्शन आप बैलेंस फंड में डाल सकते हैं, मगर इक्विटी फंड कंप्लीटली नो नो होता है. एंड 100% विड्रॉवल फ्रॉम बैलेंस फंड इन्वेस्टमेंट of SWP is also not very right, because if you do SWP of 8 and 9% from balanced funds, let us say you invested 1 crore and you gave client an assurance that you will get 8%, 9%. You withdraw 8 lakh rupees from the first year and also 8 lakh rupees in the second year. What if crisis happens and in 2 years' time, balance fund NAV from 100 comes to 80 rupees? It can happen because in 2000, 2008, 2020, balance fund went down by 20, 30, 40% also in some cases. In that case, your 1 crore will become 70 lakhs, and then you have withdrawn 16 lakhs in 2 years. Your portfolio will come down to 54 lakhs. How will that 54 lakh rupees come back to 100? Now, even if it comes down up to 100, because markets can recover, maybe, but clients will not hold. And when they see their capital eroding by 30, 40, 50% in a balanced fund in SWP, how will you convince them? You think it will not happen. You think that you will handle it, but it is not very easy to handle this, because just to give additional return, you are using balanced fund. In my opinion, the best solution is 50% debt fund and 50% balanced fund. Withdraw from debt fund and keep accumulating balanced fund till it comes into profits. And after 3, 4, 5 years, when the profits are there in the balanced fund, transfer the profits to debt fund. We have a calculator in MasterStroke called SWP Rebalance Calculator. I think that is the best solution for SWP. This is again a bias, many mutual fund distributor to give higher return to the client, expose the client to equity and balanced fund risk, which is not right. Bias number 3. Please do keep writing in the chat box. Agree if you agree with my statement that sometimes we are biased and we should not do. Churning for alpha on client's portfolio. This is the third bias of mutual fund distributors. वो क्या सोचते हैं कि if I churn the client's portfolio from A scheme to B scheme to 3 scheme, I can generate better return for the client. Or if I book profit when the markets are high, or I switch from debt to equity when the markets are low, I can give better returns to the client. This is again a bias. It is possible, a little possible, or sometimes mutual fund distributors think that they will beat the Sensex return or the Nifty return by churning the portfolio on equity funds of clients. This is not a bias. This is actually impossible. This is again my statement. You can do it. All the best. But this is almost impossible. Even fund managers are struggling to provide alpha by so much of research. How I and you think by churning the portfolio or timing the market, you can generate alpha on the client's portfolio. It is almost impossible. Even if you do it for 6 months or 1 year and 2 years, you might well be lucky rather than any skill. You might be able to do it on part of the portfolio, but not the whole of the portfolio. My recommendation, suggestion is that hold the portfolio for long term, do strategic planning. And even if you have to churn the portfolio, it should be strategic in nature rather than providing additional returns to the client. Because you might win 2 times, but then you will fail the 3rd time and the entire alpha will be gone. It is not required to do that. This is the fourth bias of mutual fund distributors. Many mutual fund distributors think that increasing the risk in the portfolio for the client can generate higher risk. For example, they will go to specific PMS schemes. They will diversify the portfolio to maybe other products, alternative investments. Maybe they will take 40% exposure to small cap portfolio in the client's portfolio. Or some, for example, I will go to the extent of saying that, of course, MFDs doesn't do that, but just for the sake of example, you'd say that the client might invest 10% money in cryptocurrency. It doesn't work. And I will give you this example. Only one slide here. Is it worth investing in a risky asset? I keep telling this slide to investors, but today I will tell you this, that if on the total portfolio you are making 12% return, your total portfolio return is 12%. Now, if you decide as a mutual fund distributor that you will take a risky bet on the client's investment by 10%, and this portfolio can deliver 25% return, if you are successful, your portfolio return is 13.3%. So from 12%, you go up by 1.3% to 13.3%. But if you fail and the asset, which is the risky asset which you proposed, goes down by 25%, 10%, your return from 12% falls to 8.3%, which is an erosion of 3.7%. Against a possible gain of 1.7%, you lose 3.7% if the portfolio goes down by 25% rather than going up by 25%. So it is not worth investing in a risky asset unnecessarily. Diversification is important, but I am here talking about risky asset where you want to enhance the returns of the client. And final, the fifth dangerous bias that people have. Small AUM schemes deliver better returns. There is a kind of many AMCs also promote this, and many mutual fund distributors also think like this, but I think there is no merit in this statement as of now. There may be instances where this might be the case, but those instances may be pure by luck and timing. It is not by design. Many AMCs, when they are small, or schemes of AMCs when they are small, they will promote this to mutual fund distributors that I have a small scheme. My strategy is to keep it small because small schemes deliver better returns, and they will come out with arguments and research paper which proves it. It is called retrofit. They will fit the data historical basis and they will come out. The same AMC, after 5 years, when they will do better and the small AUM becomes larger, they will reverse the story and they say they will be now able to manage and provide consistent return. This is nothing but a change in stance. Historically, there is no evidence, and I have seen, and of course there can be some, but no perpetual confirmation that all small schemes will be able to deliver better returns. To give you an example, consider the small cap universe in mutual fund AMCs. In the last 1 or 2 years, the largest small cap fund has delivered the best returns. There is no evidence where it says, or you can take flexi cap or large cap or any fund. There is absolutely no meaningful result that small AMs can mean better returns. So don't fall for this fallacy. It can happen, and if that happens, it can be a luck. And I remember Peter Lynch of Fidelity fame, whose fund was one of the top performing funds in the world for 25 years, and he had one of the largest portfolios, and still he beat the market by a big margin. Just a moment. Oh, okay. So I will finish this and then I will run it quickly for you to see this again. I'm so sorry. Sometime technology. So this last bias is small AUM scheme deliver better returns. This is not right. And I will very quickly give you the 5 biases here again. PPF versus ELSS. So there is no evidence which suggests that PPF is better than ELSS or ELSS is better, because you cannot actually compare both these products. And this is the slide. If you want, if the client wants to have an equity allocation of 70% only and 30% in debt, where will you invest this 30%? What will be your advice or recommendation to the client? If you advise debt funds, they are not superior to PPF long term. FD, no. Post office, other schemes, no. PPF is the best scheme in India because it has a triple E advantage. And there was actually no slide. Only I was reading from these slides. There is no presentation, only the header. So I have explained to you everything. SWP from equity balanced funds. Churning for alpha on client's portfolio is extremely difficult. And last 2 bias was increasing the risk for higher returns. And finally, I was talking about small AUM schemes deliver better returns. This is not right. This is a bias again among mutual fund distributors. So that were my 5 bias. And please let me know if you like this 5 biases in terms of whether you have it or not, if you can agree, disagree, whatever, and then I will. And that is all from my side. Thank you so much.